Hello, good morning. I know it's been a long time again. Well, that's just because I've been going through my battles with ADHD. And, ADHD at the middle age is kind of difficult. Well, I've been like this ever since when I was young. I can remember being hyper, being told that I'm a son of the devil just because I don't listen often with my elders. I don't sleep at noon because here in the Philippines, if you're a kid 10 years old and below, you should be sleeping at noon because the elders say that's the time you grow. And well, before I really hate it, but now I really appreciate it. And yeah, well, as I grew up in my academics during elementary and high school, I was a really bad student. I could barely focus. I only have barely passing grade. That's how I went through elementary and high school. I started college at 23, and that was a really good year because I studied agriculture, and agriculture really sparked my interest. So when I was having trouble during elementary and high school, all I have was just the highest grade I got back then was only 78 and mostly 75, 76. But when I was in college, I got the highest grade I had in one subject could reach up to 97. My average was 93. My lowest was around 85, 88. Just because everything about agriculture, I really, really wanted to learn about it. Because that's the one thing. I don't know. Maybe that's the effect of the ADHD. You have a selected interest, but yeah. And 3 years into college, I stopped because the family went through financial problems. So yeah, I stopped college and then I went through technical course, and just in 2 months I got my welder certificate. And when I was working as a welder, I found out that it's a lot easier. Just following orders. You go there in the morning, do your work, leave in the afternoon, go home, get some rest, and then do it again in the second and the next day. And then every 15th or 30th of the month, you'll get paid. So, that was a really good run for me for about 3 years. But then after 3 years, I was thinking, I need a little bit of improvement because, laborers here like welding is kind of cheap job because, a welder here in the Philippines back then, I was only paid about $5 a day, and that's 8 hours of work on the heat of the metal. So yeah, I said to myself, I need some improvement. So before I quit, I tried applying for other works, and it landed me into a big resort, the Dilienor Inland Resort. So in Dilienor Inland Resort, I really learned a lot about the technology, how to build a swimming pool, how to maintain a swimming pool, how a roller coaster works, how a Ferris wheel works, even the ATVs, the motorcycle engine. My knowledge into engine at that time really expounded. And then 4 years into that, the company went into mismanagement. So I said to myself, before these things get worse, and I don't want to be in the bad end of that ending of a company. So I quit and I moved here in Katiil to start a little bit of farming. And less than a year into this, just taking care of the land, trying to plant vegetables, and also replanting coconuts. And I learned about tuba. That was the time when I started to learning about tuba. And then it developed into a resort. because even before I put up a cottage, my friends, my relatives will come over and they will just stay here and relax. So I got the idea to start up a little bit of resort. Started making a one open cottage, and then later on rooms, and then Mama retired from her work abroad and she focused on building a resort. So yeah, that was really great until Kulas came and the resort just exploded. We had a lot of visitors, especially during after the pandemic when all of the roads cleared up. Oh, we got influx that we cannot even occupy. So yeah, that was a really fun years. But as the years go by, I'm having this problem of focusing because I would barely spend time in the resort right now and spend more time here in my house. So these days now my routine is really simple. Wake up in the morning, take off the kids, take off their breakfast, and then get them to school. And then when I come back, I started working on the house. Now that's my problem right now because I would start one project and then in the middle of it another project or another thing will trigger my brain that will take me away from the first project. And if I don't take care of that thing that's been bothering me, I won't be able to finish my first project. I really don't know how it works. I mean, before I went into a psychiatrist in Davao. And then I told him about my problems. I told him about I can't, unable to focus. And he just said that he diagnosed me with middle age crisis. I said, yeah, okay, I'm gonna take the medicine. But the problem is the medicines just keeps me down in bed, makes me sleep all the time. So yeah, I tried to continue it and I asked for medicine to keep me focused, but still those medicine just kept me in bed, kept me doing nothing but just thinking. And I don't want that. I want to do something and I just want to focus on it and then just finish it before I move on to another. And it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard to do that. So somehow, right now, I found a little bit of solution. I don't know if this is a solution, but for me, I'm progressing every day, and I'll show you how. Okay, so remember the terrace? I did that during a coconut series. And when I was done with this, I was just, looking out here, sitting, thinking what I can do next to improve the house. But those area right there, it was all grassy. So, yeah, it triggered me. And I told myself I have to clear big part of it. But I don't want to remove all of the things, all of those trees, because I want to landscape it soon. So if you see that pile of cut wood, that's a coconut trunk. And then those long pole, that's a talisay tree that was bothering my view over here. So now I got a really good view of the beach. So after that clearing, I just said, okay, just leave it there. Let the leaves and the trees to dry up so that I can slowly burn them. So when I was done with that, I moved on to the house. Now at that time, this wasn't here. This is just a simple cover. So my room will be covered up, and at least it has a little bit of design. But it took me 3 days to finalize the design, even though it looks simple now. But when I was thinking of sticking it up upright, or maybe go along with the with the roof shape. But then I said, okay, let's just make this simple, and I just wanna finish this anyway. I'm not going to vlog it because it's really a small job. So I end up with this. But actually, this is not done yet. I'll be covering this with a varnish, and then maybe put some highlights on it, like a little bit of burn-in, so it will stand out a little bit. So yeah, when I was done with that, I was thinking, I need to refresh my mind. Maybe I could do something else other than the house, and then later I will have a better idea to make to improve the house again. So I came out here on my garden, and I came across these plants. Now these are crotons, and last year I planted this in this lineup, a group of 5, and then move on to different color and different variety, group of 5 again, because I really wanted to have a croton garden or a croton field. So yeah, I've never seen it in any photos where a big field would be covered with all just crotons, where people could just walk in, because it's really good for pictorials or maybe prenups and for Instagram. So I was trying to build that. So yeah, back then I was disturbed by the busyness of the resort and also some of the visitors here. So I left it, and it was a good thing that I left it during the rainy days, so these trees survive. So now, when I was done with that, with a house project, with a small part, I came back and I planted new ones. Now most of those leaves are wilted, just because I just plant them about 2 weeks ago, and slowly they're recovering since rainy season just started. So pretty sure they'll survive any day now. And then I was out here all day under the sun, just getting myself focused. So at one point I was really tired. So I came here to my woodworking area to get away from the heat of the sun, and just trying to think more of what I can do next. But then this thing catches my eye. This is a slab of talisay tree, and I noticed the curves, especially on this one. I said, yeah, it had me an idea. What if I would cut it maybe about 2 inches wide and make a window frame out of it? So went out, got other talisay tree slab, and I made this one. So you got the curves of the wood, and as you know, talisay tree or rain tree is really tough. Even the one that is on the outer core. So I focused on that and made something really incredible. So that was a window with a live edge, or live edge window. And I searched around the internet, and I've never seen a window with that kind of a design. The only problem is, in my idea, I want to put a mirror on it. Not a really mirror, a clear glass, so that I will have natural lights coming in. But the problem is, a glass that size is kind of expensive. It would cost me around 1,000 pesos. So yeah, for now I just said, okay, let's just install it, and then I'll wait for the right time when I get the budget, and then I'll continue it, and then hopefully I could finish all of my windows with that kind of a design. So it's a project in waiting, among other thousands of projects that I have. So yeah, when I was done with that project, with the window project, I came out here thinking, I have to continue the Croton Gardens because I'm already halfway there. So might as well finish it off. And when I came back and I was looking around, something else triggered my attention again. And this guy got my attention. Now this is an agarwood tree, or locally known as lapnisan. I have two of them. I got them over a year ago in Davao City. It's given to me by a friend who's also a agarwood farmer. So yeah, agarwood is one of the most expensive wood in the world. 5 kilos of the chips of that would cost you around $100,000 in Middle East and China also. But here in the Philippines, you can sell them locally, legally at 750,000 per kilo. But the black market is also alive here. So in the black market, you could sell them 250 to 350,000 pesos. But the problem is getting proper documents for lapnisan will also cost you a lot. You have to get permission from the environmental office. You have to get some permission for the transport, and even during the growing of the plants is also a little bit of difficult because you got to plant them in the right fertile ground and also the right elevation so that it will grow properly. And also there's a procedure to make the agar wood itself. It's just drilling a hole into the tree and then introducing a liquid that is also that is known as inoculant. Basically, it's just a fungus that will trigger the tree to release the resin. Now, the resin will create the black wood, the agar wood, and that's the most expensive part of the tree. So now, because of that tree, got me an idea to make a vlog out of it. Going out in the mountains looking for a wild agarwood trees, just because the locals here said, oh, there's a lot of it in the mountains, you have to look for it, they're really easy to spot. So I went out, so I made some research on how they would look like on the wild and which part of the forest would they usually grow. So I found out they usually grow nearby the water source, maybe a creek, a river. So went out, follow the source of the waters, and I asked some locals. They all pointed different directions. They said, "There's one over there. There's one on this mountain. There's one on this hill." So I went out and I never seen one. And what I found was only the trunks. It was most of what I've seen was already cut down, and the local said it was stolen by people from other province. So yeah, I continued on, went to Aliwagwag Falls also because I heard that the locals over there are protecting a big area up in the mountains just because it's all planted with wild agarwood. But I never reached the place. I've never seen one. So yeah, got me disappointed. Worked on it for almost a week. Then yeah, I got here and I don't have any more any stories. So all of the videos that I made during that time, I just deleted it. So came back here feeling defeated and started to look for new projects again. Yeah, when I gave up with that Agarwood vlog, came back here in the house again after spending few days off. Didn't came over for about 3 days. So I remember that I have some cacao beans collected, and also cacao plantlets when I was traveling and looking for the agarwood. And I planted all of them, and I collected around maybe around 100 beans and plantlets. And for all the plantlets, these are only around 20 that survived. So, yep. At least I have something positive came out of that failed Agawood vlog. That's how I battle. I fight my battles with ADHD. Anything that will disturb me from my focus on doing a project, I will just go after it and just get it out of my system, get it out of my brain, and then just get it done, and then move back on improving my house or my surroundings. So that way I will have achievements little by little every day. Unlike what I did before was just, sitting down and just overthinking. If I'm going to do this, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go through into a failure, and then nothing will happen. So that's the best decision that I thought of, and it has a really good positive effect. Somehow I'm not. I'm no longer behind on my projects, even though I don't finish it in just one sitting, but at least I have already started it, and by the time I go back with it, it would be easier because a lot of the hindrance that's in my brain has already kicked out. So yeah, that's how you fight ADHD in the middle age without medication. I don't know if it's mental strength or just will to move on. So, well, hopefully you understand my story, and if you are in the same situation as mine, hopefully you picked up something new and you learned something new. And I'm praying for everybody who's in a situation like me to just just to get better. Just don't sit down on your house and just overthinking. It will do nothing. Overthinking will just eat your time, and just it will eat your time. It will waste your time, and it also waste your body. Just get out there, do something. If something else will bother you, just go for it. Get it out of your brain, and then go back to whatever you really wanted to do. That way you will improve. I promise you. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time. God bless.